All right, welcome back to LearnWire. So today we are taking a look at the PDF Maker. Now, I don't think this is going to be a big launch, and they're only going to be around for about 7 more days. They just launched, right? So I want to show you how cool this software actually can be for your workflow. It can actually end up being an alternative to DocuSign, Google Docs, and Panda Docs. It has integrations with Airtable, APIs, HubSpot, Notion, and Google Sheets. They have plenty of different sources that you can connect to. Essentially, what you're going to do with this software is, let's say you have data in Airtable or Google Sheets or Google Forms or whatever, and you're collecting data and you want to turn that database or data into a simple PDF that someone can sign in your workflow in your business, right? So that's what this tool actually accomplishes. Instead of having to take information, create invoices, and do all that stuff, you could actually have this take your contact, like a name, an email, a phone number, an address, and have it automatically take that information and use what you actually have in your business, in your database, the data that you're collecting, right? And automatically choose when you need it to create a DocuSign type of PDF, and then you can send that off. They do have a video on this and everything. Let's just be honest. I don't think this is going to be a flashy enough software that's going to take off, but it does have 1 review, 5 stars. Hey, let's go take a look at it real quick and see what they actually said on the review. So it was a rating of 5 stars, but they didn't leave any feedback or anything like that. So what I want to do is just go to the founders. This has been around since January 2022, based out of Delaware, United States, and they have 11 to 50 employees. They're in startup and bootstrapped financial states. So they have a larger team than 10, and they've been around for a few years. So that does offer a little bit of kind of comfort. I like to click on the roadmap and see under review, password protected PDFs, PDF expiration, plan for link type tags, email notification, including generated PDF. That'll be awesome. And maybe when someone downloads or opens up a PDF that the software created, then you'd get a notification too. That'd be great. Fill out integration. I would like this as well, turning it into a fillable PDF. And then we have in progress Monday support and dashboard, starting to link with popular tools like Monday.com, Stripe invoice generation, nested line items, and conditional logics. They are continuing to improve the software and update it. I want to jump in. Let's go and actually take a look at the plans and features real quick. So license tier 1 is going to get you 500 PDF generations per month and 2 users. That's going to be yourself and maybe 1 other employee or virtual assistant. This is great, but you don't get Zapier integration or make.com integration, but you get everything else. License tier 2 is $139. And it triples the amount of PDF generations you get per month at 1,500. Users is 5, and document templates. Oh, so license tier 1, document templates is 15. License tier 2, document templates is 30. On license tier 2, you actually get Zapier integration and make.com integration. So I really think license tier 1 will get the job done, especially if you're a small business, especially if you don't want to have Zapier integration or make.com. Those are going to be the questions you have to ask yourself. If you absolutely need one of these integrations, it automatically puts you into license tier 2 at $139. And then finally, license tier 3 is all in at $249. And you get 3,000 PDF generations per month, unlimited users, 60 document templates that you're allowed to create right there as well. If you need this solution and everything, you're probably going to want license tier 3. I think it's a good price, well under $300 mark. And so we don't usually see kind of all ends under $300 these days on AppSumo. Let's jump into the tool. I'm just going to show you how the tool works. I've already gone through and done a true test. I'm going to show you how you create this right here. I didn't need to watch any videos. It's a bit more techy. If you're not tech savvy, you might struggle. You probably just need to watch the video tutorial or just watch my tutorial. It's pretty simple for the, how tech, like the tech that it's using to actually do this. It's actually rather simple. I'm going to open this PDF up to show you what this would actually look like. Here's the PDF. And this is what we're trying to accomplish, right? So SEO services contract, I made this up. We have a client right here automatically filled out. I didn't have to do anything. Once your data is set up and your data structure set up and everything, this is all you have to do. I'm going to show you how to do this. So we have the person's name. We have the person's email right there. Actually, I need to update this. We would just get rid of address right there because we already have it right there, right? They don't need to fill that out. So we can improve that term and payment. So we would maybe come in here and fill this part out as well. We can keep coming through here. I think we can customize this part right here as well. Let's try to do that on this run. So term and payment, this contract shall commence on. So we'll put a date there. the total fee for this service, maybe something like that, right? So we're going to create this, and then look, client is marked automatically down there. And then we have the name right here. All they have to do is sign right here. You can actually go in here and people can sign when they're inside of here on a Mac. You just click this signature button and people can type their name. If they've already set up a signature like I have over here, they can actually set up, a signature and just put that in right there as well. It's very easy these days. You don't even have to create a fillable PDF because most people's tools will allow them to do that anyways, which is super cool. So we're going to create this now. There's all kinds of settings in here. The dashboard and everything is really good. I haven't actually even looked at a lot of this stuff, but you can contact them. You have help and docs. Let's go and click on that real quick. Make sure I give a thorough review, but I really just want to jump in and show you the software and try not to make this too long of a video. It looks like they have a bunch of articles on how to use this. It's very Airtable friendly. So if you're using Airtable, this will be great. I'm going to give you an example using this with Google Sheets, a very simplistic approach to using the software. We'll come back over here. I just want to see if there's anything else that we want to look at. So there is templates. I haven't looked at this. So these are the templates we've created. This is an active template. We have the sources, Google Docs. If you're familiar with make.com or you're familiar with some of those tools like that, this is going to be your friend. It's going to be very easy to get started with this. You can share the templates. You can edit the template, configure, run history, and so forth. So if you need to add your teammates, you just push the invite button right there. Billing, you can go over here and get more credits or change your plans and all that stuff. Here's your integrations, Make, Zapier, and N8N. Automate your PDF generation process with PDF Maker and N8. And then you have your settings button over here with more stuff, API keys and so forth, right? But right over here, what we're going to do is just go to templates, go to create new, and this template name is going to be SEO client contract. We could make an invoice. We can do all kinds of things. I'm just using this as an example. You can use any basic form that you really want to have automated for you, that you need to send and have signed or send out to people. Very common is client contracts or onboarding that needs signed, or invoices. Those are very common and probably one of the biggest uses for the tool, but there's plenty of other stuff as well. You can use this from an HR standpoint. Let's say you have an employee onboarding process and you're still in the process of hiring an employee and you have things that they need to fill out, or you want them to have things filled out before they even come into the office for their interview, or maybe you've already gone through that process and now there's employee information that they need signed before they come in for their first day. You could create HR forms and have these sent out via email and have them signed as well. I could see so many different uses for this. Here's where you're going to go into your data source: Airtable, Google Forms, HubSpot, Notion, API, Google Sheets, Lead Connector, Freshworks, Stripe, Zoho CRM, and Pipedrive. So they've got a lot to work with. We're going to go with Google Sheets, right? Let's say you're a small business, you're using Google Sheets. A lot of people, believe it or not, use Google Sheets to run their business. I'm going to say next, and this is where you need to know a little bit of information. I already went and set things up ahead of time. So this already, that's really cool. Here's the PDF that I just showed you. We can go and download this or open it up right now if we want to. We'll click on that, and here is the actual PDF that I just showed you. So here's Marina right there. It automatically moved this into our database, and you would be able to see that we have our generated PDF for them. And maybe this generated PDF, we might be able to title something different, but we have all these other clients right over here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this information here. So I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to go into Sheets. I'm going to start a new one, and I'm just going to say SEO client contract demo, something like that, right? I'm going to paste this information because we already did all this. We have our name and our email, and maybe there's a lot more data that you collect, and you can incorporate those into your forms. We're going to keep this real simple. Just name and email is all we really need right now. Maybe you have company name as well, something like that, but we're going to just leave it like this. And then we're going to go back into PDF Maker right over here. And I'm going to go select sheet. You can see this SEO client contract. I'm going to select that and push select. So now we have this SEO client contract that we just created in Google Sheets, right? You need to have a data source. Select a source sheet right here. You can have multiple sheets on that Google spreadsheet and select and create the PDF based on whatever sheet you select right here. We just have one sheet in there, so I'm going to select that. Now it just wants a primary column that will uniquely identify rows in your database, but you don't actually identify each column. So if we come back over here just to show you, let's just say we have address, company company name, phone number, physical address, all these different things. We don't have to actually identify any of that. We only need to identify this one thing, name. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right over here. We're just going to put in the primary column is name. It is going to pull up all of the header rows that you have. So if you have 6 header rows, you can choose that. We're just going to stick with name. If you have images, select the columns that contain image URL. We don't really have that. So I'm going to go ahead and not select that. Select output folder. So this is very important. That's why we set up on your Google Drive, you're going to want to select the right folder. And I have one right here, PDF Maker. And we have PDF Maker software. This is the one that I actually set up, and then it automatically will create another folder for us. But you want to have one selected right there that you already set up. So we have this right here, PDF Maker software demo. You could even just select your Google Drive home page and it will create one for you as well. Now you have custom PDF name. By enabling this option, you can choose a sheet column to use as the PDF name. And you know what? I actually want to do this time. I didn't do this last time. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that this is going to be name. We want their name to be included in the PDF, which is super cool. Now I'm going to just say next right here. Found my time zone. I'm in the Denver Mountain time zone in the United States. You can choose between what format you like right there, but this is day, month, year, very common in the 12-hour right there. You can also add that in as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on, see what that looks like. We're going to push next right here. This is where it's going to open up the editor. You can see it literally is creating kind of like a Google Doc. This looks exactly like a Google Doc. And this is where we need to create our invoice, our client onboarding contract, right? Whatever you need to create, you can copy and paste it from your workflow, and that's what we're going to do. So I came over here and I created this right here. This is where I got all the names. I just used trusty old Claude to do this. And I'm just going to copy what we have here. Let's just say we're going to go like this. We're going to copy this and maybe we can go and kind of fix this up a little bit. So I'm going to paste our client onboarding right here. And you can see right here, if our company name is LearnWire, we're doing SEO services, it's always going to be right there, right? We don't have to change that ever. But what you want to do is you want to go through this in detail and make sure that anywhere where there's a name right here, instead of having that person's name, you're going to want to go and copy, right? You can copy the name right here and you're going to replace anywhere where you saw a client's name. It grabbed this one. We're going to delete and we're going to put name right there, right? So I'm going to come down right over here and just see if there's anything else that I need to do that for. Oh yeah, these addresses, we already have their email address right there. That's fine, but I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. And then right here, we don't need this part because we already have their email address, okay? Then we're going to come down here to the client's name. I'm going to delete that and put in name right there as well. And then I'm going to see if there's anywhere else that we need to make that adjustment. And now we're going to go into email. So I'm going to copy email, and anywhere I saw a client email, I'm going to put email right here. This will all make sense here in a minute after we go through. This is where you want to go and update this. Do we have a signature? That's the only part that we needed, the email right there. Now what we want to do is come in here and see if there's this contract shall commence on. Maybe just fill that out when you agreed on start date. And maybe if you actually had start date over here as a column, then and you can see we've already connected this. So we have generated PDF right here. We don't have any generated PDFs because we haven't generated any of them. If we had more things in the header to put, then we would have more items down here to choose from, more sources of data, right? So if this was, just keep in mind, if we had a start date, we can put the start date right here and we would link that up and it would automatically fill that in. Super cool, right? The total fee for this service is right here. I'm going to see if we can actually edit this in real time. So maybe we have right over here. I'm not sure if I would just move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say start date, and let's just say that it's 7/31, something like that. Let's just drag and drop that in right there. And then let's say we have duration that they're hiring you for. So it's like maybe 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 4 months, 5. Okay, so those are the duration in months. And then the total fee. So maybe we have total fee for the entire operation. Let's come up with some numbers here. $1,000, maybe 2,000. All right, so we filled out the total fee. Is there anything else that we want to put on here? Maybe those are the only things. What I want to do is I want to grab this and move it over here. And I'm going to move it right over here. So this is updated. I'm just going to save, and we might need to reconnect. Let me push save. We don't have the fields in here yet. We might need to reconnect this. I'm going to go back. And we have the SEO client contract right here. Automate this template, configure template. I'm going to click on configure template right over here. We have the source. I'm going to go through this process again. We have name. We're looking good here. And save. So I'm not sure. Did it refresh? Let's go. You can automate the template by creating generate. And this is where you're going to have all the options right here. We're going to come back into that in just a sec. I just want to see if we updated the actual source. So now we're in edit template. It did in fact reset, or it updated and refreshed. So now look at, we have all these other things we can add in here. So what I want to do now is this contract shall commence. And instead of the line right there, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this. And I'm going to put my cursor right here. And this is going to be start date on, boom. And even if start date, maybe we can even bold this. So I'm going to say bold. That's the start date, right? And it's going to continue for a period of, so here's the duration. We copied duration. See how cool you can actually completely customize what you want to get out of your document. I want to highlight those. Now the total fee, we're going to highlight and copy. We'll come right over here and say, boom. Now I do want to see if, yeah, so this is just total fee right here. Maybe you want to make sure that your numbers are in this format and not have any decimals. We'll move the decimals out. And then we're going to go back over here. I'm going to get rid of the $sign right there. Then I'm going to highlight this last one. We've got all the customizations that we want for this. And then now we're going to go into SEO contract and we're going to push the generate buttons because we want to automate this. And this time I want to actually do all of them, right? So we're going to go and we're going to collect right here like this. And we're going to generate the PDFs for all of our clients, right? And this is the power. Once you set everything up, I know it seems a little techie at first, but it's pretty easy, easier than I thought it was going to be. Once you have everything set up, then look, we're creating like 10 client contracts in a matter of seconds that we can now download and send out. Now, I don't know if there's a way to, so we have all these right here. We can go in here. Here's Alexander. Here is Gabriel. Let's click on Gabriel. We can download Gabriel's and look at what this one looks like. It has their name right here. It has their email right there, service provider, LearnWire. And then this is the cool part. Look, 8.2 is right there at 6 months and $3,000. If we come over here and look at Gabriel right over here, it is 8.2, it's 6 months and $3,000. And we'll come back and look at that. So that is very updated and works like a charm. So that's the power of this, where you wouldn't have to, go in and change all this date manually and everything. You can just fill out one sheet, one data source, and have this automatically created for you. You can see that it has his name right here. He needs to sign right there, and he needs to print and date right there, something like that. Very cool stuff. And then finally, we can go back in and see what this looks like. Look, we have our data right over here. We were able to move the generated PDF column over here. And this would be your leads database, right? If you have a new lead and a new contract, you would just fill all this out. And anytime you need to, you can get the PDF and shoot off that email. So this is actually really cool, great workflow. The software just works. Now, I think that them maybe building in an integration with Gmail or Outlook, I don't know if that is possible. If they could build something in where we could connect to Gmail or Outlook or what we're using for our email services, to where we could literally come in the system right over here, and maybe right next to here, we could say email client, and it would automatically take the email from here. And then you could have a template that says, hey, here is your onboarding contract. Here is your invoice. Here's your blah, blah, blah. And that would be like another step that would be just so powerful. I can see how they could implement that pretty easily in the system. And so those are some things that I would like for them to be able to do. I do realize that it's really easy to sign this with the softwares today. Most people's PDF readers and so forth, you'll be able to sign this and stuff, but it would be nice to have it as literally just some type of fillable PDF right out of the gates. I would like to see that as well. With those things, I say this is a solid 4.0. I give it a nice solid 4.0 software. What do you guys think? Type in the PDF maker below in the comments if you watch the entire thing. The link will be below. This is a very solid tool, serves a purpose for those in need of this. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.